Hello everyone, my name is Miranda Fox and I am a graduate student getting my master's in curriculum and teaching here at BG. Today we are going to be looking at Thai teacher education and lesson study. Dr. Gabriel Matney and I traveled to Thailand from the end of November 2019 to mid-February of 2020 to learn about and conduct research on the math education program at Khon Kaen University, or KKU, and how they incorporate lesson study in their program. So you can see us here in this picture. We are with a colleague from the university. So this program that we looked at was specific to mathematics education, but we recognize that the information we learned could be adapted to the other contents. So even if you aren't math specific, this information is still relevant and can be applied to your content area. Now, taking a dive into the program, we will start with the first year of a 5-year program. So in the first year, the pre-service teachers will spend 1 week in a school during the summer, so this is before their courses even start. Then, lesson study will be introduced in their subject courses, and the pre-service teachers will plan an algebra activity and micro-teach with their peers near the end of the semester. In the second year, the pre-service teachers will now spend 2 weeks in a school during the summer, and they will continue to familiarize with lesson study in their courses. A professor will bring the pre-service teachers to school to observe a class where lesson study is used. So here they can see the collaboration between a 5th-year pre-service teacher and their mentor in-service teacher. A principal from the school will explain to the pre-service teachers how lesson study works in their specific school context, and then they will reflect with the pre-service teachers after so they understand the reality of teachers using lesson study. And again, the principal is invited to join this reflection. In the third year, the pre-service teachers now spend 3 weeks in a school during the summer, and they're still familiarizing with lesson study in their courses. So at this point, even though they know the steps of lesson study, they still may not fully understand lesson study because they haven't yet participated in it or fully seen every phase in action. Then, looking at the 4th year, they will spend 4 weeks in a school during the summer, still familiarizing with lesson study in their courses. Now, the pre-service teachers will work in groups of 4 to 5 to plan a lesson and teach it in a real classroom. And so they view this like a little mini lesson study because the pre-service teachers are planning together. They'll record the lesson when they're teaching and then come back to present what they learned and reflect as a whole class. So they go through that process of planning, teaching, and observing and reflecting. Then in the 5th year, this is the internship year, the pre-service teachers will spend an entire academic year in the school. They will implement lesson study in collaboration with their mentor teacher. And the size of the team really varies by school. In some schools, they'll have multiple pre-service teachers and all of their mentor teachers. In other schools, it might be more in-service teachers and fewer pre-service. It really just depends. In the first month, the pre-service teacher is just observing the mentor teacher teaching. Then, after that month, some pre-service teachers will teach the remainder of the year, while in other cases they might rotate daily, weekly, or monthly with the in-service teacher. These pre-service teachers will also receive the plans and reflection of each plan from previous interns in their placement classroom. So essentially, the intern for this year will receive all the information from the lesson studies in the previous year from that past intern to help them with the lesson studies for the current year. Then the pre-service teacher will also research a topic of interest using their classroom and students as the source of data. So looking specifically at the lesson study cycle, in Thailand, they refer to this cycle as plan, do, see. So plan, as you know, is where they're researching and creating the actual lesson. Do is where the teaching and observation occurs, and see is the reflection. And so all schools that partner with Konkan University will follow this cycle. Depending on the school, though, the timeline and details of the cycle might change. So you might see one intern planning every single day with their mentor teacher, then reflecting once a week on Fridays with all the mathematics teachers. Or you might see 3 pre-service teachers and 3 in-service teachers participating in every step the teach, reflect, and plan for the next day, and that might happen every day. So lesson study is done on every single lesson they teach, but the extent to which they observe and reflect really just depends on the school and their context. Looking specifically at kind of the general cycle that we see in most places, though, is the weekly cycle. So again, following the plan, do, see, but on a weekly basis. So in this case, they will plan all lessons for the week ahead as a team. Then the teaching will occur every day, and the extent of observation will just depend on the school. So it might just be the pre-service teacher and their mentor teacher, or there might be other teachers coming to watch as well. And then reflection occurs as a team on Friday, covering every lesson that week. So while we do see variation, this weekly cycle is what Thailand is most well known for. Some other details about their lesson study: they do encourage administrators to take part in the reflection and sometimes even to lead the reflection. The lesson study team often involves every teacher for that content. So for example, it might be every math teacher at the school, but also sometimes they include teachers from other content areas. So you might see cross-content connections between math and science or math and language arts. And in Thai's context, they only do 1 cycle per study because lesson study is done on every single lesson.